ready to watch episode 15 of Orb on the movements of the Earth. Let's see how the story goes on. Let's see Violenta's role in this story. And let's see what Novak wants to do. Let's watch it together. Because it's unfair what you do. I like this Inquisitor. He thinks more than you, eh? No, what he did was good. No, to the awakening of humanity. Totally the contrary. Yes! Yes! Exactly! Well said. Mm-mm. No. He was just following. I hope... Well, at this point Novak disappeared. Look, I wanted to see that moment. Wow, these are criminals. Hey Novak, you don't know what's coming for you. I wanted to see your face now. Show us the face. Ah. Did they fake already to burn her alive? Yeah. I hate Anthony. No, it's not true! He commissionated these. That's not true. Oh, how fake these people are. No, he took it away when was about to be tortured. That's not true. Wow. How double-faced is this man? I don't have a good impression on you, sincerely. Ridiculous. And pathetic. Oh, the devil. Wow, Anthony, you disgust me quite a lot. How fake he is. Novak, tell us your thoughts now. I want to know. I wanted to hear what you have to say. Okay, we go back. Oh yeah, we go back. I want. Okay. Maybe he killed Rafal in that moment. Mo- How innocent she was. She's. She was. And how coward you are to show her this face. What did she say? She wanted the gloves, right? Mm. Novak, why you became somebody like this? You could have been a good father with a proper job. Ah, yeah, but he gained the money to buy you the gloves because of the torture he made to others. So I mean, this money is dirty. Okay, think about it. He bought those gloves with the money he got by being an inquisitor. If you knew how many times he lied to you, that's the least problem, huh? But you did. Oh! Oh! Yeah, I think in that moment he just wanted to protect her from other people hearing what she said, but eh, because you were indoctrinated to react like this. Uh, you teach a faith, but then you are an inquisitor. Wow. Coherence. Uh, but he says sorry for all the rest. Hmm. I don't think he says sorry about the gloves only. He says sorry in general. Novak, she's gone. I don't think she wants to face you anymore. Or if she wants that, it's just because she has to tell you that you disappointed her. I think you lost a huge chance. Uh, quite obvious. That's the place where Badeni was. Yeah. Let's see how this man reacts because Grabowski, yeah, he was asking him questions at that time. Mm. Yeah, who told everything about Badeni? Don't tell me it was Grabowski. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he found that book and then we didn't know what happened after. Okay. No, don't tell me. Grabowski, I hope that you didn't do that. Well, you can go on in the case. So he did it, Grabowski, uh, no, look. There's a piece of paper over there. Read it. Read that. Yeah. Maybe but then he left it for you. Yeah, that was Badeni. And he shared. He's gonna do it, I think. Oh, okay, but then look, I hope that Grabowski. Educate Grabowski, eh? Educate. That doesn't mean brainwash them, it means something else. So? Yes, Grabowski. Yes! Of course, but be careful. First, read them, and then you talk. Don't refuse to take a look, at least. If you say no from the beginning, of course, you're just brainwashed. Open your mind. As much as you went to the library to check things. Yeah, because these people were the people who were feeded by Oxy and Badeni, right? They go to Grabowski, right? Yeah. That's why he said, please accept them. No, it's not a trap. Go. No, no, go. Okay. And be educated by Grabowski. Ah, yeah, Oxy, yeah, sure. I hope they go there so they found. Yes, okay. Badeni. Of course. Yeah. Come on. Oh, let's see what happens now. I hope everything will be alright. But they are a lot. Quite a lot of people. Wow. That's an entire community. No, no, they are going at the right? Oh my! He wrote everything on their heads! He's a genius! No F way! That's why he said that Oxy's writing could have been rewritten. Wow, but Danny, high level of genius. Yes, yes. Graovski, we are all on your side. I hope that Yolenta will join you somehow, because she escaped, but very nice this episode too. Look, I wanted to start from Novak today because in the first part of the episode we can see Novak's background story and we understand that it was hard for him to hide all the things that he was doing to Yolenta. It was very hard because he knew that if he was going to tell her what his job was, what he did, etc., etc., I think that these would have been so painful for her. I mean, sometimes people don't have the courage to say what they do and to be true to the people they love. That's a limit, and they are too coward to face the consequences. Yeah, even Novak, who seemed to be very strong in front of others, very resilient. No, at the end of the day, when he was in front of his daughter, he was losing all these strength that he was building throughout the time. He was very sensitive about her, of course, and in front of her eyes, he could have never spilled out the truth. So in this case, I quite understand him because his position was very in danger and it was something that was not easy to spill out. But at the same time, I liked the moment in which they go back 10 years before to show you that beautiful scene where I suppose that that moment was the moment immediately after he discovered that Rafal was dead, after he was keeping him in jail, and after he talked to him. And at that time, I think Yolenta was almost at the same age as Rafal. So it was very nice to see that on one side he had a 12-year-old boy in jail going to poison himself to not be able to face down the faith he had, and that means a boy who had the courage to pursue his intentions. And on the other side, you have an innocent Yolenta. Maybe she was 12 years old too, and she was so innocent, yeah, because she didn't know what was happening. So you have two different teenagers who are struggling with different things. I mean, Rafael was struggling against the world because of his researches. And on the other side, you have an innocent girl who thinks that her father is doing a great job for the sake of humanity and whatsoever by following the church, of course. You have that sort of a contrast between innocence and experience, and I think that these subject comes out pretty frequently in Japanese stories, because even here, probably it comes from even the Japanese literature, I don't know, but in many stories we have faced these main subject, that is these huge contrast, yeah, because when you're innocent you don't imagine how the world is cruel, and on the other side when you have experience you don't want to be tricked anymore by being innocent again. So these a huge contrast that can lead us to truth, and most of the times people don't want to face the truth because it's too terrible, because it's unacceptable, especially after so many years of spending time researching things that don't match with the reality. And once you reach that state of knowledge, you can't go back, as much as I told you before. So the difficulty of Novak to go back home and fake as if nothing happened in front of his daughter, yeah, somehow you need a little bit of a courage to do so. That it's a different type of courage that I'm talking about. But basically, Novak needed to be courageous to face his daughter every single day after knowing that in the morning or in the afternoon he was torturing heretics. And this is very hard to handle. And the way in which he was reacting as soon as Yolenta was giving God the fault of everything that was happening to her, in this case the gloves size and whatever, he immediately reacted as if he was a brainwashed person. No, you don't have to say like this. No, I mean, he was automatically, I mean, his body was automatically responding. He didn't even recognize how brutal he was in front of her, just because he had to defend these concepts that were pre-installed in his mind in order to do the job that he was doing. And I found it very, very realistic, because when you are brainwashed about certain things and somebody else is telling you a blasphemy or something that doesn't match with what you have always believed, the body or the mind reacts or responds by saying, no, what are you saying, etc., etc. I imagine that Novak wanted to protect her in that moment, because he didn't want that even Yolenta would have started researching about certain things and being processed as a heretic. So in that case, she could have met her father as an inquisitor and revealed the truth of everything, you know? So I understand Novak's fear, and I think fear is one of the main subjects in this story. I told you many, many times. And in this episode, we see the fear of Novak, the fear of losing her, the fear of disappointing her, the fear of losing an important part of his life. And even when he was buying those gloves, well, those gloves were made thanks to the blood of other people, because he was torturing other heretics, he was gaining money from the job he was doing, and thanks to that job he was buying the gloves to his daughter. Those gloves are full of blood, basically, and Yolenta wears them and she's so proud of these gloves, but she doesn't even know that those gloves come from the money of executions, of tortures and whatsoever. So, see, the world that is hidden from other people's eyes, that's the most terrible one. The unknown that takes an important role in this story, because until you don't reach the moment in which you realize the truth that it's behind everything, you don't suspect, you don't feel any sort of doubt. And Yolenta was like that. She was living without doubts about her father, and the result was crazy. I don't think Yolenta died, because at the beginning of the episode, Anthony was saying, tell him that the body you found was hers, show him this body on the stake, and burn this body, we have a body, so use that body. And so Yolenta escaped, and Novak now feels as if he lost his daughter forever. So that pain that can be unbearable, because if you think that your daughter is dead, of course you can't imagine that she's still alive. She's somewhere. You lose the hope. Novak completely lost his hope, and even hope is one of the other key words in this story, because there were other characters who almost lost their hope, and there were characters who regained the hope based on the circumstances. Novak and his desperation in the first part of the episode is quite evident, and I wanted to underline another thing. I think Novak is still in time. He doesn't know that his daughter is still alive, but he has a time to overthink, because now he has all the time he needs to overthink about what's going on, and to understand that everything that he was having a fear of happened. I mean, he lost everything, and he put his job first when he had to put his daughter's love first. Yeah, he tried to protect her from everything that he was doing, but that's not enough. I think that he should have been true to her, to speak out the truth and to let Yolenta know, because I don't think Yolenta wants to meet him again in the case, or that he wants to confront him, or if she wants to confront him, I'm sure that she'll be so disappointed that she will never see her father again as it was before. Anyway, Novak lost, and Badeni and Oxy, who were dying because of their researches, won. Because, yeah, this is a paradox, but that's exactly what happened. Novak lost everything. Lost the stability of his career, lost his daughter, lost even everything that he was thinking throughout all those years. Lost even the empathy that he had towards other human beings. Yeah, he completely lost everything. While Badeni and Oxy, who died, actually they gained everything. They gained hope, they gained lots of new researches, they gained answers, and they gained also the way to feel immortal, because this legacy will go on. So later in the episode we understood how brilliant Badeni's idea was, and how everything was already planned. It was okay to burn all the books because he found another way to write them somewhere else, and they were using those baggards to write everything down on their head. And this was awesome, because Badeni and Oxy thought about everything. They were giving bread to these beggards, and at the same time they were using their heads to write down 60 pages of researches. So as you can see, what Novak was trying to do leaded him for nothing, because nothing happened sincerely. Nothing was stopped. And even if Anthony and all the church believe that they can always find an excuse to hide, to make everybody silent about these blasphemical researches, it doesn't happen, because people are smart, and you can't stop humanity from reaching the truth anyway. I really liked this idea, and now we have another protagonist, Graovski. Yes! I hope that he goes on with these researches, and I hope that he will read all these 60 pages to understand that what Badeni was trying to do was not a blasphemy, was just another interpretation of the world that might seem new, that might seem corrupted, but it's totally the contrary. I mean, even what Anthony says at the beginning of the episode, this is absurd to hear, okay? The way in which they try to silence everything that is happening and trying to find excuses to create this stability of the church makes me laugh quite a lot, because they always think that by having the power they have, they will always contrast humanity who tries to get in touch with the truth. But this episode showed you that this is not possible, that there will always be another way to continue this legacy. And I was so amazed by the way Badeni made everything. The paper he left to Graovski, the idea to write on the heads of people, and he used the heads, not other parts of the body. He used the head, that means use your head to go on with these researches. And the way in which Badeni and Oxy will be remembered, because these beggars already talk so good words about Oxy, and they are always remembering Badeni. Even if they don't know his name, they know that he has a patch on his eye, and that's already great, because that's a way to remember who lost his or her life. So I'm very glad of the result of this story specifically. I hope, as I told you many times, that Novak overthinks, because if and only if we'll connect, he will connect with these people, and he can go on with all these, and he will have the chance to change his mind. Why not? We are always in time to change our opinion. It's never too late. And if he wants to give justice to Jolenta, let's do it. Change your mind. Of course, he's living right now into a desperate mood. But yeah, everything he did was wrong from the beginning. But I think that life gives you a second chance, and it's not for nothing. It's to redeem yourself from what you have done and to start all over again. So Novak, you have time. Think. It's never too late. And all the times you refrained your daughter to do researches, to step away from the corrupted world, yeah, it was a mistake. And probably you have always wanted to protect her from these. But it was not the right thing to do, because if you do that, you shut your daughter down. It was good to see this double face that Anthony has in front of Novak when he's saying, "Oh, can I pray for your daughter?" Unbelievable, okay? The double face that Anthony had in front of Novak was the same thing that Novak did in front of his daughter. So now Novak can probably understand how it's easy to change a face based on the situation. And this is scary, yeah, because you understand how scary you also are when you get in touch with your daughter and you have tortured a young boy before, and then you come back home and you wanted to praise your daughter with the new gloves. This is absurd, but that's realistic, because even nowadays there are people like these, double-faced people who pretended to be something, and then they have a parallel life. We don't even know, but they have, and they pretend that nothing happens, except for the heliocentrism. Yeah, this story takes inspiration from this great research about the heliocentrism. But this story is also about life in general. I mean, the way we behave, the way everything turns back on us, the karma, the evil things that you do that are coming back at you anyway, somehow, and sometime, the fear of losing a dear people, the fear to expose others, the fear of the damages on you, the revenge, the will to pursue your dreams, the concept of a faith that is based on each person, because each person can give a definition of a faith that doesn't match with others, but that's okay, because everyone has a different vision of this word. Diversity, the contrast of differences, and how these contrasts can let people debate or can let people die because of their thoughts. All these things are realistic and they are depicting life. So I understand that the author of this story doesn't want to focus too much on the heliocentrism, because this is just the purpose, but the purpose can be anything. Are you ready to fight for this purpose? Are you ready to hide everything? Do you want to be a coward in your life? Do you want to risk your life for the sake of humanity? Yeah, when Anthony says that these heretics are condemning humanity to the worst period ever, no, it's exactly the opposite. And when he defines heretics corrupted people, no, the church is corrupted, not them, just because they try to find something new. But of course, Anthony wants to spread all these in front of the new inquisitors, because they have to be brainwashed for the stability of the church. And this is wrong from my perspective. This is something that I can't stand now and forever. So I really like that this story seemed to focus on the 15th century, seemed to focus on the heliocentrism. That's not just that. We are not talking about science here. We are talking about morality. We are talking about, moral values. And we are talking about humanity as it is, in the good and in the bad. And this gives me great vibes about this story. Thank you so much for the support, guys. See you tomorrow with episode 16 of Orb on the Movements of the Earth. And thank you very much for all the support you give me every day. See you next time. See you in the next video.